everybody, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living here in beautiful San Clemente. We're so glad you're here with us this morning here in the sanctuary and out there in Videoland. And we'd like you to join us today, along with our fabulous song leaders, Karen Allen and Rick Dale, on a Ricky Byers-Becker tune called I'm Choosing Heaven. What a good thing to choose. Yes. Here we go. 1, 2.
I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing beauty today. I'm choosing beauty today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing beauty today. I'm choosing peace today. I'm choosing peace today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing peace today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today.
Good morning, beautiful center. I'm Reverend Carla Sharadas, and Mary Morrissey would say that this is a brand new baby day. But we're going to take it a step further and say this is a brand new baby year. We're going to invite you to remember that you are the creators, the producers, and the artists of your life. So let's get started. Welcome, 2022. And we're going to begin with our ceremony, lighting the flames of faith. We perform the ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought, experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual practices. And as our practitioner, Mary Cassatt, lights the last candle, let it represent the path which brought you here this morning. And now I invite Mary Cassatt to give us our opening prayer.
Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. I'm so glad to see you all today. And as we walk into this new year, I want to invite you in this affirmation of the presence within all of us, and knowing that there is one infinite power, one God, one good, one universal presence operating throughout the entire universe. And this presence is love, it is power, it is peace. It is everywhere present. And I know that this power resides in me. I know that as I connect with Source, as Source flows through me, as love, as light, as power, I know it also flows through you. We are this presence when we recognize and acknowledge the love that is within us, in our hearts, moving throughout our bodies. The power, the recognition of love, and realization of the power within us as love emanates and lights us as we go through this new year, letting go of anything that doesn't serve us, anything that is less than good, that is God, falls away, and we let go of all our actions and thoughts that don't serve us, and we recognize the love within, the presence, the rejoicing of this new year, of being ourselves, of being God as us, as light, walking into this new year with faith, expectation, joy. This presence fills us, and everyone we meet, let us bring this light to the new year as us. It is good. And together we say, and so it is. So today, I'd like you to repeat after me. I recognize the extraordinary in the ordinary. And so it is. Should we do that again? Let's do it again. Repeat with me. I recognize the extraordinary in the ordinary. And so it is. And together we're going to say the Declaration of Principles. I believe in God, the one creative intelligence, operating throughout the universe and operating throughout my entire being, now and always. I believe this perfect spirit operates on a law of mind and creates my experience exactly according to my belief. I believe this perfect creative intelligence can be used by me and by every other person to produce health, abundance, and love in mind, body, and total life experience. Use it now, and I rejoice in it, and so it is.
Thank you, Mary. That was beautiful. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce, and please help me and join welcome our very, very beloved Alan Dell to the stage. Alan Dell.
Well, Happy New Year, everybody. Are you ready for some good? Yes. All right.
Me too.
Here we go.
Get ready for the good in everything. Prepare to be boarded by the party of love. Expect to be blown away by what you dream. Turn around and consider where you have been. Now look where you're going. It's your decision. Proceed with open arms. Open the impossible. There's a good thing coming, one way or another. A new thought being taught. Give to each other. You can't hate someone else and love yourself. So why don't you open your heart and get ready for the good? Get ready for the good, yes. Well, existential is fine when you're driving blind. Just getting by won't suffice to feed your soul. You deserve what you think you do, and you know it. Well, all the gifts of God are surrounding you. Good, 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 but not too good to believe in. Expect to be blown away by what you're dreaming. There's a good thing coming, one way or another. A new thought being taught. Give to each other. You can't hate someone else and love yourself. So why don't you open your heart and get ready for the good? Get ready for the good, yes. You could be more than you think you are. The heat of the sun, the light of a star. The best that life offers is what you allow. Are you ready, ready now? There's a good thing coming, one way or another. A new thought being taught. Give to each other. You can't hate someone else and love yourself. Why don't you open your heart and get ready for the good thing coming, one way or another. There's a new thought being taught. Love one another. You can't hate anyone and love yourself. So why don't you open your heart and get ready for the good? Yeah. Get ready for the good. Because it's coming, it's a good thing. It's a good thing coming. A good day coming. It's a good thing coming. It's a good thing coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan Dale. Happy New Year, everyone. Hard to believe it's 2022 already. Hard to believe it. I am Reverend Alice Reed, and I am your senior minister here and spiritual director. And I am excited this morning. I'm excited because this is the beginning of our first full year together. Last year, thank you. Last year we were getting to know each other, we were finding our way, and I really feel like this is going to be our year. And we're working together with the leadership team to plan some wonderful things for you, and we need to be fluid, though. If the pandemic has taught us anything, it is that fluidity is really important. I was writing an email to Diane about today, and I said, thank you for your availability and flexibility with my fluidity. I thought, wow, that's a mouthful. I'm really full of gratitude and excitement this morning. I'm so thrilled to be working with the team here. Everybody really shows up. Everybody shows up, all the volunteers. I have a couple of special thank yous I want to make. First, a couple of people that are behind the scenes that we don't really ever mention. One of them is Karen Meyer, who has taken on the set decorating. And so I want to thank you, Karen. So we begin to play with our presentation here on the platform. Karen brings a lot of talent to that. And the other, and so if I'm not mentioning your name, please know that I'm only going to mention 2 names this morning. The other person that I want to thank is our very own Reverend Karen Allen. And I want to share with you, if you don't know already, she's already a wonderful grandmother, but she's expecting another new baby, and so she's going to take a hiatus for a couple of months so that she can help shepherd this brand new baby soul into the planet with her daughter. And so today's her last day with us for a while. She'll still be here during the week, but this is the way that she was able to find some time to do this really important grandmother work that is so close to her heart. So as you see Karen this morning, wish her well on her hiatus until she's back with us. Thank you, Karen. I certainly didn't want you to have her go missing and not know what was going on. So she'll be back with us in the spring on the platform, where we really appreciate her. The other little piece of housekeeping I want to talk to you about is that thing that we all know about, and that is the Omicron and the virus and mask wearing. We have a really wonderful ritual planned for you today that we're going to go through, but I'm going to ask you to be really mindful to keep your masks on as we come to the burning bowl, as I bring you forward for that, to give people space as they do their releasing. We have an opportunity to do some vision boarding after the service and some light fare, but again, we're gonna need to do that in a very mindful way. We'll try to social distance folks. I'm a little nervous about eating indoors, but we don't really have the facilities outdoors, so we're working on that. And most importantly, this is all about good stewardship for our body temples. This is not about fear. It's about being good stewards for ourselves and for each other. So I invite you, as you're choosing to be mindful today, whether it's through the ritual, whether you decide to stay after and wearing a mask and being socially distanced to do some vision boarding, or if you're not comfortable with that, you can take some supplies home with you. But the main thing I want you to know that this is really about loving ourselves and loving each other in the highest and best way. So that's my little prelude of instructions before we get going here. So today is the first service of 2022, and we have this opportunity to really enter into 2022 in a high and holy and conscious way. We have this beautiful theme this year, and it's the theme of living everyday wonder. Living everyday wonder. And I think I shared with you already that the first time I saw the theme title, I thought, well, that seems a little fluffy. What is that going to be about? But as I have delved into the monthly topics and looked at it, it's really about helping us to remember that life is a miracle. And how easy is it for us to forget that? How easy when you have the to-do list that's as long as your arm, or you have things that you're concerned about, or the things that projects you're working on. It's so easy for us to forget that every moment is a miracle. There's this beautiful song that Lisa Ferraro and her partner sang, and I remember hearing the words as Erica would play that guitar. If you've ever seen the two of them play before Erica passed, she had this way of plucking that guitar and really bringing you in. So there were words of the song in essence, talked about the fact that we have like many, many miles of veins in our body. And when we take a simple breath, the miracle of that breath is that that oxygen moves through our body and nourishes every cell in our body. And it knows which cells to give what nutrients. Like, that's a miracle in itself. And how easy is it for us to overlook that? How easy is it for us to forget that every moment and every breath is a miracle, and there's no effort that we have to put forth. We just allow. I read this morning that somebody said 2022 adds up to 6. And in Emma Curtis Hopkins' numerology that she does in her own way, in her own unique way, that 6 represents effortless living. I don't know about you. I'm ready for a little effortless living. I don't know, 2020, 2021, there's a lot of effort to maneuver and to navigate. So I'm taking that on. I'm accepting that this year is going to be that year that we step into more grace. Even if there's a lot of things on the outside, things that we have to deal with, I'm choosing that effortlessness. I'm choosing to know that love is leading me in all my directions, and I'm not out there on some island by myself trying to do it all alone, but that we're doing it together and that we're supported by Spirit. So this theme of living everyday wonder reminds me of those moments as a religious scientist, as I practice this philosophy, as I see little demonstrations that come forward as the result of prayer or different practices, I'm reminded of the awe that even after 20 years in this movement, I still feel like the first time. Does this happen to anybody else? Are you still awed by the power and the presence of this philosophy and our affirmative prayer and the demonstrations that we see in each other? It's amazing. It's really amazing. So as we move through this beautiful year-long theme of living everyday wonder, it will be our opportunity to remind ourselves that the everyday, the grind, the things that we go through can be wondrous. They can be awe-inspiring, but it requires us to lift up our spiritual eyes, to look down from the path that we're walking, or whatever it is that we're trying to do, to look up and to accept the wonder. So I had a demonstration already. At my first demonstration this year, I was feeling like I was running late. I was behind the wheel of the car. I was like, oh, I got to get to, it was like, and I felt how tense my body was. And I said, I'm choosing, I want to bend time this morning. I want to bend time. And I took a deep breath, and I sat back in the seat so I could feel the car seat on my back. And I relaxed. And every light I came to was green. Every single one. And there was, like as I was coming up to La Pata, and it was 2 lights over, and it was green, and I wanted to rush up to it. I said, no, you're bending time. You'll have plenty of time to get through. I felt the tension inside me, but I chose to quell it and to really allow. And that's amazing to me. That's the kind of everyday wonder that I'm hoping that you will evoke as you go through your days in this 365 days that we have. 363 days that we have before us in 2022. So before you see this burning bowl. This is the very first ritual that I did in a Science of Mind community. I was pretty new, and it was about 20 years ago, and I didn't really know what it was about. And it kicked my butt. I had a really powerful demonstration that next year. That whole year unfolded in ways that I never expected. And so what I can tell you about my first burning bowl was when I was listening to when I did the meditation, I just really took in what the invitation was to let go of something. And I had been holding on to something that I felt a great deal of shame about. It was very personal. And I wrote it down on the piece of paper. And I consciously and intentionally carried that piece of paper to the flame and released it. And while I won't tell you that it was magically dissipated, there were some wonderful things that began to loosen up. There were little obstacles that I had placed before me. There were things that I had villainized in my own self and in the world that I began to see grace in. And I know that that was a direct result of my burning bowl experience. So 20 years later, I'm still doing the burning bowl experience. The experiences I have are not quite as dramatic. Some of them are more subtle. And yet, there's still this magic of release that allows me to get out of the way, out of the everyday humdrum and grind, and step into an everyday grace and wonder. And so that's the invitation that I have for you today. The other thing I wanted to share with you today is that I have this the ceremony that was actually the ceremony that my teacher did 20 years ago. That was my first burning bowl. So I thought I would share that ceremony verbatim with you. And so I'm going to invite you to just take a moment and think about this ceremony and its purpose and its symbolism. We have fire. Fire symbolizes this purification. When something is received by the fire, it's transmuted. It shifts. It doesn't go away. We know as religious scientists that energy can never be destroyed. It can only be transmuted. So when we work with fire, we're working with the power of transformation, the power to take some idea, some thought, some limiting belief that you're ready to release. And when you give it to the fire, it gets purified. It shifts its energy. And so that's the symbolism we'll be working with. Knowing that when our paper hits the flame, and it will spontaneously combust because we're working with flash paper. I'll demonstrate in a little bit. But when we put our paper to the flame, the energy is going to change. And so know that you're working with this symbolism. Know that the purpose of this ceremony is really to let go of, to cleanse, if you will, those things that we have been holding on to that don't serve us, that don't give us opportunity for a high and holy experience, but might weigh us down because of maybe something that your culture or the society has put upon you, or something that you've taken on that really wasn't your own. So the invitation this morning is really to let go of those beliefs that hold us back, that might just be sitting on the periphery. And so are you ready? So I'm going to take us through a brief meditation as I invite you to, in your clipboards that you received, there's a little piece of paper. And so I'm going to invite you to hold that piece of paper. And for you that are at home and are joining us at home, I invite you to have a pencil and paper available so that you too can participate. Now, I'm not going to invite you at home to burn anything. If you choose to do that, that's up to you. But there will be some shredding that I'll invite you to do at home so that you too can participate in this letting go ritual. And so hold the paper that you have received in your hands. And I invite you to close your eyes or lower your gaze and just listen. In our lives, we all have things that seem to be holding us back. Hidden fears, mistakes we've made, judgments about ourselves, the roles that we play. All of these bind us to suffering and to old ways of being. This is the moment in which I choose to be transformed by the renewing of my mind. Say that in your mind's eye. This is the moment that I choose to be transformed by the renewing of my mind. I invoke my higher wisdom self as I now choose to let go of the old. Whatever it is that is holding me back from a truer, fuller, more authentic experience of a joyful life now comes to mind easily. I let these things come to me as I take the next breath. And it is as easy as and as powerful as each breath you take. I do not judge what arises in mind. I simply notice it. And when the time comes, I write it down on my paper. I let these images and ideas bubble up from within. For there is a part of me, the transcendent consciousness within me, that knows what to do, what to release, what to have transformed, and how to do it. There's nothing to fear, only a whole new freedom to experience. So take some time, knowing that you are in the process of being reborn, and let that birth happen now. Let yourself become truly new, and let yourself reveal that divine presence within you that resides in your heart. And so I know for each one that the power and the presence that is within reveals itself this wonderful morning, this brand new baby day of this brand new year. I trust that for each one there is perfection in the transmutation of all the obstacles that might stand in the way of our next yet to be. And so I invite you to open your eyes. And if you choose to, you can join us in this burning bowl. I'm going to invite you to come up one row at a time, to be very mindful when you're ready to come forward. Reverend Carla will be in the aisleway trying to help with traffic. We want to make sure everyone has an opportunity to do their releasing. And so I'm going to demonstrate now for those of us in the sanctuary how this will work. We are working with fire, so we need to be very mindful. And we're working with flash paper. So for me, what I like to do is to bless what I'm letting go of. And for me, I'd like to kiss my paper. And then I release it knowing that it no longer serves me. And as I just touch the paper to the flame and let it go. You don't need to be scared. You just need to be ready to release. And so when you're ready, I'm going to invite Karen and Rick to come up and begin singing a beautiful chant to provide the backdrop for this ritual this morning. And for those of you that are at home, as we burn our pieces of paper, I invite you to shred your paper. Shred it into as many pieces as you can, knowing that that shredding is also transforming. and you can choose to put it into the earth. You can choose to recycle it, but you can let it go. So let us begin.
I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender,
I fall into the arms of love.
I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, surrender. I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I fall into the arms of love. I fall into the arms of love.
I would like to invite Allendale if they have something to release, and Diane, if there's anything you want to release, and our practitioners of the day, if there's anything you want to bring up to release. I think we might have a couple of other people be coming up, but this time I'm also, come on up, Jill, and wonderful. So let's all just breathe in and let go. We have done the process of writing something down and getting ready to release it, and so now I want to invite you into this wonderful opportunity for setting an intention, and we'll do that as part of the closing prayer. But what I do want to let you know is on the back of your program, there's an email list, an email address. And for those of you that are home, that email address is in the email that went out on January 1st. And so if you have an intention that you want to set for 2022 and you want some support around that, feel free to email it to 2022intentions@cslv.org. And I will hold your intentions on the altar of my heart, and I will email you periodically as an opportunity to remind you to keep your intention fresh before you. And so that is my invitation to you as you get ready to write something on this clean slate that you have created this day. And so let's go ahead and I'll do a spiritual mind treatment for each one. Knowing that as we have stepped into this beautiful process of release, the power of transformation and transmutation that has moved through, as, and by each one of us, I know that there is a wonderful expansion that is happening, a release of energy. And so I know for each one that we use that creative process to breathe in. The burning was the exhale. The intention is the inhale. And then walking it out is the exhale again. And so I know for this year that as we look at who it is we want to be this year, what is it that we want to do, and what are the things that are coming up for us, I know that each one is guided, guarded, and directed by that higher wisdom self to set an intention for themselves, an intention that not only serves them, but serves the world. And so in this high holy instance, I bless all those intentions, knowing that as we walk forth today, we walk forth energized, renewed, and ready to energize that which wants to be known by means of each one. And it is with grateful heart that we simply surrender this to the One, knowing it is done. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you very much. And I want to invite Alan Dale to come back up and bless us with some more wonderful music.
It's not that unusual when everything is beautiful. It's just another ordinary miracle today.
The sky knows when it's time to snow. Don't need to teach a seed to grow. It's just another ordinary miracle today.
Life is like a gift, they say, wrapped up for you every day. Open up and find a way to give some of your own. Isn't it remarkable? Like every time a raindrop falls, it's just another ordinary miracle today.
Birds in winter have their fling, but always make it home by spring. It's just another ordinary miracle today.
When you wake up every day, please don't throw your dreams away. Hold them close to your heart.
We are all a part of the ordinary miracle.
Ordinary miracle.
Do you want to see a miracle?
It seems so exceptional that things just work out after all. It's just another ordinary miracle today.
The sun comes up and shines so bright, but disappears again at night. It's just another ordinary miracle today. It's just another ordinary miracle today.
Our beautiful Alan Dale. Let's give him another hand. And it's time now for our offertory. And I wanted to share how fed I feel today through this service. Do you feel fed? Yes. Through the music, our message, the beautiful ritual that we did this morning with the burning bowl, clearing out, and the possibilities for this new year. So fed. And that's what our offertory is about. It's about giving back to that which is the place that we're fed deeply. And so, won't you join me now in reading our offertory? My offertory is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply and symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply. And just a brief note that we have baskets that you can leave your offertory in at each one of our doors and in the back of the room. So please share. Thank you. And it's time to acknowledge all of those that have been in service for our center this week. Could you please stand for us so we can acknowledge you and thank you for all of your time and talents that you share with us? We couldn't do it without any of these wonderful, wonderful souls, so thank you. And if our practitioners and ministers would continue standing for just a moment, these are the individuals that have been practiced and taught in the art and science of prayer. And if you would like to receive a prayer today, would you please remain standing, our practitioners that are in service this morning? And let me share with you, they are Mary Casa. We have Cheryl Lyman, Jill Burnett, and Paula Manis. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much for your service. And they'll be available in one of our practitioners' prayer booths, too, in the back. And we also have our tranquility room as well. So we give great thanks for that. And now I think it's time for some invitations.
But before invitations, we want to celebrate people. And one particular person is having a birthday today in the sound booth, and that's Mary Brogdon. Happy birthday, Mary Brogdon. And anyone else who is having a birthday in January, please stand. We want to sing to you. Yay, look at this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. We celebrate you all month long.
Yes, we do, no matter how old you are. Okay, last minute invitation. In lieu of Conscious Connection today, Reverend Alice is leading a vision boarding workshop for 2022. If you're interested in manifesting your goals by putting the law of attraction to work, come join the party. You will be creating a collage of images, pictures, and affirmations as a source of your personal inspiration for this new year. It is happening today after the service in the multi-purpose room. Masks are required and a light fare will be provided on the patio. Not on the patio, in the multi-purpose room for the participants, and you can remove your mask while you're stuffing your pile.
And this Wednesday at 10 a.m. on Zoom, the book study with Mary will resume, and the book of discussion is Conversations with God, Book 2. And if you have any questions, please see Mary Brogdon.
Birthday girl.
Birthday girl.
This Friday evening, January 7th, the Women's Circle is meeting here at the center at 7 p.m. It will be a follow-up to the last one, which discussed the creation of a group intention for the Women's Circle that supports the CSL vision of a world that works for everyone.
And the new 2022 CSL Living Everyday Wonder Spiritual Journal is still available in our bookstore for $15. What a great gift to give yourself for the new year. Does anybody have one out there? You can hold it up. Yeah, looks like that. And they're taking notes from today's service, so it's a great opportunity to do that.
Shifting Sands continues to meet on Thursday mornings from 10:30 to 12:30, and Coming Home to Spirit, led by Joyce Fournier, meets on Friday mornings at 8 a.m. Both of these held on Zoom, and the links can be found on your bi-weekly email. If you're not on the list, please call the center and request to be added.
I think that's it. You guys ready to stand and sing our closing song? It's a new one, but it's easy. I see you for the light that you are. I see you for the love that you are. I see you for the light that you are. I see your light. I see your love. I see who you are. Now sing along. I see you for the light that you are. I see you for the love that you are. I see you for the light that you are. I see your light. I see your love. I see who you are. Let's do it one more time. I see you for the light that you are. I see you for the love that you are. I see you for the light that you are. I see your light. I see your love. I see who you are. I see your light. I see your love. I see who you are. I see your light. I see your love. I see who you are.
And so indeed, I do see your light. It shines so bright that I can see nothing else. I know that we enter into this beautiful day and this beautiful new year as bright lights, shining brightly, seeing it everywhere we look. And so it is. Thank you.